Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central this evening with Doc Ock at noon and 9, bringing you more information, more stories, more about the history, our history, that has become such a mystery. But we intend to remove the veil and allow you to see what you hadn't been able to see before. But before we get started, or even begin to start to get parted, let's go ahead and take care of a little business over here. Oops, wrong one. Take care of a little business here. What I would like y'all to do is to go ahead and, if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like. If you're watching on the tube, give us a thumbs up. And then go ahead and spread the word far and wide that we're not over here trying to hide. We're just trying to bring you some things that'll help you have a smoother ride, because we're truly on your side and can put more glide in your stride and a dip in your hip as we take you on to the mothership. So today we're going to start off with a selection from the African American Book of Values. And let's just see what we have here today from the African American Book of Values. Yes, this one is a poem for a woolly-crowned queen who inspires Black pride. That's what I'm talking about. Put some glide in my stride, baby girl. On Getting a Natural by Dudley Randall. For Gwendolyn Brooks. Well, that's a woolly-crowned queen for real. She didn't know she was beautiful. Though her smiles were dawn, her voice was bells, and her skin deep velvet night. She didn't know she was beautiful. Although her deeds, kind, generous, unobtrusive, gave hope to some and help to others, and inspiration to us all. And beauty is as beauty does, they say. Then one day there blossomed a crown upon her head, bushy bouffant, real afro down. Queen Nefertiti again. And now her regal woolly crown declares, I know I'm Black and proud, as well as beautiful. Yeah. And that went along with the quote we read from yesterday. God made us in his perfect creation. He made no mistake when he made us black with kinky hair. That's right. Okay? And so that's what we that's our offering. So we're offering up for today. We've got another one for you for tomorrow. Yeah. We got another one for you tomorrow. We'll see what we come up with for tomorrow. In the meanwhile, let's read a little bit more about the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Let's see what we have to read about him today. This is where we left off. We left off with Garvey still in the Caribbean, Latin America, the Central America, somewhere in Central America in the early to mid 1800s. We're talking about the relatively privileged of a tradesman and landowner. Marcus Garvey knew little of these class boundaries or of racial prejudice. His father's property adjoined that of two white families. And Marcus played with neighbor children without being concerned about their color. To me, at home, in my early days, there was no difference between white and black, Garvey recalled. We romped and were happy children, playmates together. Garvey's first lesson in prejudice came when he was a teenager, he recalled later. There lived a little white girl who I liked most, knew no better than I did myself. We were two innocent fools who never dreamed of a race feeling and problem. At 14, my little white playmate and I parted. Her parents thought the time had come to separate us and draw the color line. They sent her and another sister to Edinburgh, Scotland, and told her that she was never to try to write or get in touch with me, for I was straight up, straight out nigger. It was then that I found for the first time that there was some difference in humanity and that there were different races, each having its own separate and distinct social life. I did not care about the separation after I was told about it, because I never thought all during my childhood that the girl and the rest of the children of her race were better than I was. In fact, they used to look up to me. So I simply had no regrets. No regrets at all. Marcus Garvey's friendship with white males lasted a little longer, but eventually came to a similar end. At maturity, the black and white boys took different courses in life. I grew up then to see the difference between the races. More and more, my schoolmates as young men did not know or remember me anymore. Then I realized that I had to make a fight for a place in the world, that it was not so easy to pass on to office and position. Garvey's fight was helped by his desire to learn. Educated in public grammar schools and by private tutors, he read on his own from the volumes in his father's library. When Garvey was 15, he left school to work full-time as apprentice in his godfather's shop. Now, back in those days, they called those people, those apprentices, the printer's devil. And why did they call him the printer's devil? Because they would always get a lot of ink all over them. And so that would make them black, at least in part. So they called them the printer's devil. So Garvey went to work as one of these printer's devils. Always adventurous, Garvey used to sit by the St. Anne's Bay wharf and watch the sailors and dockhands at work loading ships bound for Germany with pimento and logwood, and for America with citrus, sugar, and rum. Sometimes he would talk with the seamen, whose exciting descriptions of the ports and towns they visited gave him a keen desire to see the world. At 18, Garvey moved to Kingston, Jamaica's capital, and went to work in his uncle's printery. Within 2 years, he was a master printer and foreman at one of the island's largest firms. This experience in the printing business proved to be invaluable later in his life when he started the series of newspapers and journals that became such an important part of the organizations he founded. Garvey's time in Kingston was even more important for the exposure it gave him to the political ideas of the day. When he first arrived in Kingston, he was immediately attracted by the noisy street debates, an informal method of discussing current events and issues. Having no experience in such discussions, his first attempts at adding his own opinions met with a curt, "Country boy, shut your mouth." Garvey became determined to learn the art of public speaking. He spent his Sundays visiting various churches, listening to the oratorical techniques of Kingston's most popular preachers. Garvey then practiced these skills by reading aloud passages from a school book while experimenting with gestures in front of a mirror. He also carried a pocket dictionary, with him and studied it to expand his vocabulary. Caught up in his own studies, he still found time to teach debating techniques to young people. As a friend recalled, he was always busy, planning and doing something for the underprivileged youth. Uplift work, we called it. During his years in Kingston, Garvey became fully aware of the unfairness of the racial divisions in Jamaican society. I started to take an interest in the politics of my country, he said, and then I saw the injustice done to my race because it was black, and I became dissatisfied on that account. He understood that blacks had little chance of overcoming the poverty that was so common among them. One incident in particular triggered his awareness. On the afternoon of January 14, 1907, an earthquake and fire destroyed much of Kingston. The disaster caused a scarcity of food and goods that in turn drove up prices. The city's ill-paid laborers soon had barely enough money to feed themselves. The workers of the printing company where Garvey was employed protested the situation by striking for higher wages. As a foreman, Garvey was in a management position and was not obligated to go out on strike with his men, but he believed the workers' cause was just and joined the strike, even though his employers offered him a salary increase if he would just stay on the job. The strike eventually failed, however. The printing companies brought in new employees, content to work for low wages, while the treasurer of the workers' organization ran off with the union money. Workers' organizations, Garvey discovered, were often an ineffective tool for improving the conditions under which blacks lived and worked. Maintaining unity among workers was difficult on an overcrowded island where huge numbers of desperate unemployed men competed for meager, low-paying jobs. Garvey lost his job after the strike was over and went to work at the government printing office. But by this time, he had already begun to realize that his printing work in Kingston was not really his main interest. In 1909, when he was just 22 years old, Garvey became active in Kingston's intellectual circles as a member of the National Club, organized by a local lawyer to fight the problems caused by Britain's rule of Jamaica. The National Club campaigned for political candidates and put out a publication called Our Own. Working on the publication provided Garvey with his first experience in newspaper publishing and prompted him to put out his own periodical at this time. But Garvey's Watchman soon failed. By his early 20s, Garvey had become deeply immersed in political activities and efforts to improve the status of Jamaican blacks. However, he needed more money to support his interest in organizational work, more than he could hope to raise in Jamaica. Many West Indians were going to Central and South America to look for work, and Garvey decided he might find a better paying job abroad. Thus, in 1910, at the age of 23, he set out for Costa Rica. And that ends that particular chapter. That was chapter 2, and that was entitled A Place in the World. Chapter 2, A Place in the World. So tomorrow we'll start up on chapter 3, Doomed to Lead. Doomed to Lead. Interesting title. I don't know who picks these titles, but that one is definitely interesting. Doomed to Lead. They made it sound like being a leader is a really bad thing. And maybe they're right. Maybe, just maybe, they could be correct. Put that over there. There we go. Now, but at any rate, we'll find out more tomorrow as to whether or not he was doomed to lead or not. We'll see. Was it a blessing or was it a curse? Or was it a little bit of both and maybe something else that's out there in the universe? However that goes, right about now, we're moving through the universe unrehearsed, and we need you, all you little children out there, to take your little head and put it on your little pillow, on your little bed, and close those your eyes while you wait on that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine, oh chill in the mind. Absolutely. In the new day, we want y'all to do it in a new way, or if you do it in the same old way, just do it better so that each and every day you have a better day than you had the day before, because that'll be really divine for all those chill in the mind that are out there listening right now. Meanwhile, for you adults, we need you to do a couple things. Number one, go ahead, give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Number two, give us the old thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And number three, make your donations now. You can do it right here on Facebook. You can do it on YouTube. You can go to our website. That's 3 different places: Facebook, YouTube, the website. There's a link to the website right up below in the description area on YouTube. There's a link to the donation page. If you're on Facebook and you're on your phone, just click the notifications on the side over there, and you'll find the link over there. But it's time for us to link up, because we are stronger together than we are apart. So we can either fall apart or we can stand together. So let's stand strong, live long, and prosper. We're going to go ahead into our extra as we say goodnight to Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for giving us a wave. And in the meanwhile, we're going on to the extra.